Hi guys, I'm Bea from El Mundo Eats and welcome back to another easy and reliable recipe. We are all about using better ingredients, especially in our desserts. But the holidays are coming soon, and during those time of the year, we are always craving for classic and traditional recipes like this panettone. This panettone is definitely way better than store-bought one. My family loves it and I make it every single year. It's a must-have in our house. And I have to warn you, your house will smell so festive when you make this. Give it a try. Before we start, I want to give you some tips on how to make panettone without getting overwhelmed so that you enjoy the process. What I do is prepare all the ingredients the day before and get them ready. I weigh the flour, butter, sugar, everything, and have them ready like this so that the next day is going to be easier for me when I want to use them. I don't need to go and start looking here and there for any of the ingredients. I want to talk for a bit about the candied fruits that I use in this recipe. Here is what they look like. They are cherries, pears, oranges, plums, and other varieties, depending on what you choose to buy. I like to choose the fruits with vibrant colors of red, orange, and green. It makes the panettone looks so beautiful when you slice into it. And here I have some raisins soaking in some orange juice. We want the raisins to be soft and plump when we use them later. Now that we have everything ready, let's make panettone. We will rise the dough 3 times in this recipe. Let's start with the first one. We're gonna use bread flour. It's a must. There's no replacing it with other flour, alright? Bread flour has high protein content and that's needed to develop gluten that's gonna make our panettone has structure, rises tall and high, and with soft, fluffy, and chewy texture. I'm gonna add 4 1/4 cup into my mixer bowl. Here I have half cup of sugar, but for now I'm just gonna add around 1 teaspoon. I'm gonna use the rice for the second dough rise. 1½ teaspoon of salt, zest of 1 orange. By this time, the kitchen is already smelling great. Zest of 1 lemon. I love to use this combo, the smell is insane. 3 large eggs at room temperature. Here's 1/4 cup of raisins soaking in half cup of orange juice. What I'm going to do is take only 1/4 cup of the juice and I'm going to add half cup of warm milk, and finally 3½ teaspoon of instant yeast. Using speed number 1, let's mix until everything is well combined. Once they start forming a ball, use speed number 2 and knead for 10 minutes. The dough will be very soft and a bit sticky. You know you've kneaded enough when you press into it and it bounces back up. What we want to do now is leave the dough to rise double its size. Make sure to cover the bowl tightly. When rising bread dough, I like to go by visual, not by time. The time that the dough needs to double in size depends on the temperature of your kitchen. If it's hot or in the summer, you might take 40 minutes. Or if it's cold or in the winter, you might take 1½ or more than 2 hours. This is how it's going to look like after the first rise. Now, let's add the rest of the sugar from earlier. 3 large egg yolks at room temperature. And 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. Again, use speed number 1 to combine everything well. Once everything is incorporated like this, let's start adding our butter. Here I have 7 ounces of butter that I cut in small cubes like this and leave to soften. Add the butter bit by bit so that it blends better into the dough. This process will take a few minutes, so be patient, don't rush it. Once all the butter is incorporated, Use speed number 2 and knead until the soft dough forms a ball. This will take around 20 to 30 minutes. The dough will form a ball, just give it time. You will think that's never gonna happen, but trust the process, it will. The dough will be soft and sticky, that's what we want. Now let it rise for a second time until it doubles its size. Meanwhile that's happening, let's talk about panettone mold for a second. This is the one that I'm using. It's for 1 kilo of dough. Okay, going back to our dough. We will do our third rise now. Butter or oil your working surface to help preventing the dough from sticking to it. Don't use flour as we don't want to add more flour to our beautiful dough. As you can see, it's very soft and fluffy. Stretch it to a square more or less. And now sprinkle 7 ounces of candied fruits on top. 1/3 cup of toasted almond that have been chopped. Remember our soaked raisins? Squeeze the juice out and sprinkle the raisins together with the rest. What you want to do now is lightly knead the dough so that all the fruits, raisins and almond get distributed evenly. I love this part. It's so therapeutic. Okay, so when everything looks good, fold the dough kind of like into an envelope. Try to make the top as smooth as you can. And then quickly place it into the mold. Now let it rise until the top rises almost 1 inch to the brim of the mold. See the difference? Don't over-rise it like this because when we bake it later, it's gonna grow and overflow the mold. It's gonna be a disaster. Again, this is what we want. Okay, now let's gently brush the top with some egg wash. Make a shallow cross on top. Make sure to use a very sharp knife to make the cutting easier. Place some butter inside the cross and bake at 360 Fahrenheit or 180 Celsius for 60 to 70 minutes or until a skewer inserted in the center comes out clean. Use the lowest rack to give the room for the panettone to rise. If you see that it's browning too much, then cover it with some aluminium foil. Now look at that, guys. Our panettone is beautifully baked. Now we have to immediately flip it so that it doesn't collapse and also so that the inside texture doesn't get dense. So while it's still hot, insert 2 metal skewers through the panettone. Gently hang it upside down like this until it's totally cold. This will take around 3 to 4 hours depending on the temperature of your kitchen. This panettone is super fluffy, it's delicious and it smells super festive. I've been making this for years and I promise, if you follow all of my tips, you can easily make it at home also. Talking about, you can find the written recipe and tips on our website elmundoeats.com. Give this a try, let me know what you think and send me pictures to our Instagram. Till the next one guys, thanks for watching.